All right, so I've been hearing of people on the media and people on social media, people responding to my video saying that um, these individuals who stormed the U.S. Capitol, rightfully so. I don't condemn it. I'm sure some people made a few mistakes, but I don't. I'm not gonna sit here and condemn it. Okay, I'm not gonna. We've been provoked for too long, and now the dog is beginning to bite. But anyway, let's not focus on that right now. You got a lot of people saying that if it were black people, then the police would have shot every last one of them. Every last one of them would be shot dead if it were black people who stormed the U.S. Capitol. Can I rebut that for you? Can I rebut? Will you listen to me? Don't hate. Just sit down and listen to me for a bit. I know y'all wound up when you just heard me say that y'all ready to cuss me out, but just listen to me for a second, because you don't know what you're talking about. You really don't know what you're talking about. Let me tell you. First of all, for the past 4 years, we have seen riot after riot after riot after riot from Black Lives Matter. I mean, what we saw at the U.S. Capitol, I mean, even though I will say that those protesters have more balls than any Black Lives Matter. I mean, look, when Black Lives Matter protests or when any black folk protest, they usually protest in their own neighborhood. Tear up their own, can you imagine that? Tear up their own neighborhood. I mean, you go to Detroit now, and you still see remnants of riots that happened in the 60s because, I mean, the riots were so bad, the city can't afford to clean it up. But the Trump people, I mean, they stormed the U.S. Capitol. What the? I've never seen Black Lives Matter do that. Don't have the courage. But anyway, they tear up the place, Black Lives Matter. And what you see, the reaction you see from the police is to stand down. You got the mayors, you got the councilors, you got the police chiefs, you got everybody. Because when George Floyd was shot, not shot, killed, wrongfully so, George Floyd, when he was killed, yes, he's a drug dealer. Yes, he's an illegal smoke seller. Yes, he's a criminal, no good, never done nothing for his man. But he still didn't deserve to be killed for selling illegal cigarettes. Just like Ashley Babbitt did not deserve to die for trying to jump through some window in Capitol Hill unarmed. They could have arrested her. She didn't deserve to be shot. And you black people need to stop saying that. Black folk don't have any right to say that someone deserved to be shot from the police when they didn't deserve it. Black folk don't have no right to say that. You don't have a right. Shut up. But police, I have never heard of any case of the police shooting any Black Lives Matter protesters in Minneapolis, Ferguson, Florida. I mean, you hear of cases of police brutality, yes. Every now and then you hear it. And then the black folk, they riot like there's no tomorrow. Tear up the place. Tear up rip up burn down innocent people's stores, harass people at their homes. Antifa, many of them encouraging the black people to do it. I mean, and you never hear. I mean, and I'll say this: there's more of a case for them to be shot. I mean, if you're gonna burn down an innocent person's shop, corner store, 7-Eleven, or harass people on their property, or burn down neighborhoods. I mean, the U.S. Capitol is the people's house. You know, up until even 9/11, you could just walk in there, you know. In fact, I think you can still just walk. You get searched, but you can just walk in there and take tours, sit in the Senate chamber. It's the people's house. But when you invade someone's private shop or private property, burn down banks, corner stores, the corner store man has a right to shoot you. But the police are encouraged, let them vent, let them get angry, let them do their thing. We don't want to create a more violence. Let them do their thing. Yes. Don't lie on me now and say that that's not true. You know that's true. You know, don't lie on me now. But can I also say this? If Ashley Babbitt was black, like me, black. If Ashley Babbitt was black and she was a part of a Black Lives Matter protest, and Black Lives Matter had the courage to break into the U.S. Capitol because, let's say, for example, maybe Obama's election got stolen and Black Lives Matter stormed the U.S. Capitol, and a black woman by the name of Ashley Babbitt jumped through some window, unarmed, and jumped through some window, and instead of waiting to grab her when she got through the other side and handcuff her, they just shoot her. I'm going to tell you something, and listen to me. Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia, would be nothing more than a smoldering pile of nothing right now. It would be a burnt crater in the ground. Black Lives Matter would burn down every blade of grass in Washington, D.C. right now. The White House would be destroyed. The Capitol would be destroyed. The Pentagon would be destroyed. The Pentagon would suffer more damage than anything that happened on 9/11. The State Department would be destroyed. The Lincoln Memorial would be destroyed. The Jefferson Memorial. Every statue in D.C. would be torn down. They would probably have assassinated Trump by now. The FBI building would be destroyed. Washington, D.C. would look worse than Damascus, Syria. It would look worse than what after 1945, when the Allies bombed Berlin. Washington, there would be not one block of building left in D.C. Black Lives Matter would turn D.C. into rubble by now. I'm telling you. Listen. Do not. You'd get Joanne Reed. You'd get Anderson Cooper, Don Lemon, all of them black window dressings on CNN and MSNBC, them window dressers, those bourgeois Negroes, those foo-foo jiggers, all of them would be out there wanting blood. Blood! Let me tell you, these Democrats, you see all these liberals here now? Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris, Obama, or as I like to call him, Obamba. He bombed Libya. He encouraged violence in Libya. Talk about Trump encouraged violence. Obama encouraged the killing of Gaddafi. One of the greatest leaders that black people ever had in Africa. Better than black leaders themselves. Obama encouraged his killing. And now he's talking about, Trump, he encouraged violence. His Facebook should be taken away. Lock up Obama for encouraging the killing of Gaddafi, the greatest leader black folk in Africa ever had. Greater than Mandela. But if Ashley Babbitt, an unarmed woman, served her country, and now you got people cussing her a good name, may her soul rest in revolutionary peace, served her country for y'all to have the freedom to curse her now. Curse this woman. She jumps through some window. They could have grabbed her, handcuffed her. They could have. But they shot her. If she was a black woman, Washington, D.C. would be no more. There'd be no more Washington. Black Lives Matter would have destroyed Washington, D.C. Brick by brick, it'd be destroyed. And they'd be encouraged to do so. Remember when Maxine Waters said, if you see anyone from that cabinet in public, you create a crowd. And Kamala Harris, she made a GoFundMe to bail out Black Lives Matter people who were arrested during riots. Nancy Pelosi said, I don't know why there isn't an uprising. What's that one's name? The Attorney General, that bourgeois Negro, that pinch-nosed Negro, that foo-foo jigaboo. What's it? Eric Holder. Remember when he said, when they go low, kick them? Remember? Joe Biden, he said he wanted to take Trump out to the gym. Joe Biden couldn't take out a rat to a gym. Remember? And now all these guys are going on about Trump. He never encouraged any violence. He never encouraged. Now these guys are going after Trump and the Trump people who rioted in Capitol Hill. Oh, these domestic terrorists. Oh, these people. This is not democracy. This is not class. This is not decent. How could you do? Oh, do you blah, 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 blah. Listen, Black Lives Matter created more damage than these people. I mean, I would rather see people have the courage to invade the house of politics and put a little bit of fear into these politicians who've been backstabbing us than see Black Lives Matter people tear down innocent stores and stuff. Hey, you know, I got a thing for you Black Lives Matter people. The next time a brother gets shot or killed by police, why not have the courage to go into the police station? Don't tear down innocent stores. Go on to the police station. I mean, y'all are a bunch of... Y'all... You know what I mean? And by the way, the left, they stormed Supreme Court when Brett Kavanaugh was nominated. Remember? Maybe they should have been shot. Shoot them. Shoot them then. If Ashley Babbitt, who did nothing to any of you y'all just don't like her, I don't know. You know, I think white women, they're easy targets. You know, you can't attack me because I'll tear you up real good. Men, black women, they'll tear you up. Black men tear you up. White men will tear you up. I don't know. White women, they're just an easy target for people. Bullies. This bitch deserves to die. What that bitch doing? She jumping in the U.S. Capitol. Y'all don't give a damn about the U.S. Capitol. You crazy? I see some of these characters, man. Some of these characters, man. Coming up on my social media. Black folk, you know. Talk about that woman, that bitch. What's she doing? She going in the U.S. Capitol. That's not civil. She deserves to be shot. Y'all don't give a damn about no U.S. Capitol. Let me tell you something. If Obama was done the same way Trump was done, y'all would have tore up that U.S. Capitol. I mean, maybe you don't have the courage to do it, but you would, if someone did it, you'd be cheering and jumping up and down, yay and amen and boom shakalaka. Y'all don't care about the U.S. Y'all don't like America. You all kneel when the U.S. anthem is being sung. You all kneel. You hate America. You call America KKK. Y'all don't like America. Y'all should be celebrating the fact that someone had the ability to say, listen, voting doesn't mean a damn thing. The politicians don't mean a damn thing. So let's go on up in the U.S. Capitol and say, hey, we're not going to hurt them yet, but hey, we're watching you. You black folk. They should follow the law. They broke the law. She deserves to be shot. I mean, I don't understand why people say that. Even though I shouldn't even say that, because a lot of these white liberals, they were encouraging black folk to riot. They were, yes. In fact, there are some reports that Antifa, bunch of white people, white people from the suburbs, spoiled white people, they infiltrated Black Lives. There are some reports that they infiltrated that Trump riot too, you know. But there are reports that Antifa invaded many of the Black Lives Matter rallies, blended in, and then started riots, and then whipped up the black folk, just like they whipped up the Trump folk, whipped them up, made them all hyper to start tearing up the place. So, but y'all kneel, y'all talk about America is a racist country. I mean, what you care about the U.S. Capitol? What do you care? Because it's Trump people now, right? You don't care. You don't care about that building. You would spit on that building if it was someone else. But I'm telling you, nobody can. Be honest with me. Can you be honest with me? If Ashley Babbitt was named Letitia Babbitt, or Aisha Babbitt, or Simone Babbitt, or I don't know, whatever, and she was a black lady, and she was a part of a Black Lives Matter protest, and Obama's was running for his second term, and it was stolen from him, and there was so much proof of it. Mitt Romney was the president. He stole it from Obama. And Black Lives Matter decided they're going to riot. They've had enough of being just shafted. And they lost their cool and they invaded the U.S. Capitol. And Aisha Babbitt, with dreadlocks in her hair and a Black Lives Matter shirt, jumped through some glass door and unarmed. Instead of arresting her, they just shot her on video, and you see her dying, just dying, blood coming out of her beautiful black mouth, blood, vomiting blood, convulsing, her eyes turning white and cold. Black woman, just. And a white man shot her in front of everybody, and you see her die. Don't you tell me that y'all wouldn't tear up Washington, D.C. right now. Listen, Washington, D.C. would be over. Every blade of grass would be burnt down. Don't you tell me you wouldn't do that. Don't you tell me. Don't you tell me. And you know something? You'd have a right to do it. I would agree with you. I'd probably join you. I condemned that police officer who killed George Floyd. Condemned him. He shouldn't have died. He was a drug dealer, yes. He was a cigarette seller, yes. He sold poison in his neighborhood. But he didn't deserve to die. I said it. And I condemn this death too. And you all have the nerve to say she deserved that. What's wrong with you? Nigga, what's wrong with you? Who the hell are you to say this woman? Who the hell are you? Who the hell are you? Can you imagine if some white person were to have said that if Ashley was black and some white person, well, she deserved that. And that would happen. I know it. I know some of you guys who are watching me right now, if Ashley, listen, some of you white people who are watching me right now, if Ashley was black and it was Black Lives Matter and she was shot, I know some of y'all would say she deserved it. Don't lie and say you wouldn't. I know you would. I wouldn't. I know you would, though. And you guys are sad that she got shot. But if she was black, you would say, she broke the law. She broke the law. Well, she broke the law. And, you know, we got to back the black police, and she broke the law. She got shot. She got shot. And thank God for Donald Trump for hiring people to shoot her. Yeah, you would say that. Come on, you would. You would. Come on, you would. I think we can agree that that's what you would say. And black folk would say the opposite of what they're saying right now. So that's why you need someone level-headed, centered, and righteous, and who believes in common sense and fairness, and can be a level, neutral person like the Commander-in-Chief of Arana Nation, God's servant, the Commander-in-Chief of Arana Nation, to give you some truth, whether you like it or not. Whether you have nappy head or whether you have a wet hair. I speak the truth to everybody. That's why a lot of people don't like me. A lot of people love me, but a lot of people don't like it. I speak the truth. I tell you what I know you would do, even though you don't want to admit it yourself. If Ashley Babbitt was black and she was angry that Obama's election was taken away and she got shot the way she did, Washington, D.C. would be a hole in the ground. Hole in the ground. Okay? Worse than Nagasaki and Hiroshima after the bomb. So, y'all need to stop what you're saying. Stop saying what you're saying. And if you're saying that she deserves to die, then say that George Floyd deserves to die. Say it. Don't get mad at me. Don't call me names, Uncle Tom, all this. Listen, I know more about being black than any of you people. I know about police brutality. I was brutalized by police just a few months. I know about police brutality. I know about I know about walking down the streets and have police stop you. Hey, what you doing here? I mean, I have been privileged to grow up in good neighborhoods where there aren't not a lot of black people. And when you walk to school, when I used to walk to school, and police would stop you, hey, what are you doing in this neighborhood? I know that! Y'all don't know. Shut your mouth. I know it. I know it. But you just don't like because I'm speaking the truth. This is the